Let's face it, life isn't easy. If you're stuck in a bad relationship, betrayed or afraid of tomorrow, financially insecure, or desperate for a breakthrough, you've come to the right place. Dr. Carmen Harra is a renowned psychologist, intuitive, relationship expert, and best-selling author, and she's here to give you the miracle guidance you need. Her new call-in show, Miracle Guidance for Everyday Life, offers profound wisdom, practical advice, daily exercises, and empowering predictions, all for you. Dr. Harra's show aims to eliminate everyday problems, big and small, with topics like healing your relationships, reclaiming your power, achieving better health, dealing with loss, and so much more. Regain the joy, stability, and fulfillment you deserve to feel. Tune in to Miracle Guidance for Everyday Life with host Dr. Carmen Harra, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and find the answers you've been looking for.
Good evening, everybody. I am Carmen Harra on OMTime every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I can start by saying life can deal us some pretty tough blows. And through it all, we must continue to tend to our well-being, working towards our calling, practicing what brings us joy, and healing ourselves from inside out. Because in the midst of this pandemic, as we all spend increasing time in isolation, self-care should be our priority. Now is the moment to mend our mind, body, and spirit. So I'd love to talk to you about this, and I'd love to help you see what's going on with you. And this show tonight is geared towards your well-being, as I said, from inside out, because it is so essential to take care of yourself. About your mental health, about everything that's happening in your life right now becomes your priority. This time of isolation is not an easy one, but we have to make sure that our wellness, is the most important thing. The reality is that we all have things to heal. And even if you live like a relatively happy life, there are certain elements of your life that must be mended, because healed heart makes a world of a difference. When you are healed, you experience the world differently. You see the world differently. When you are whole, you see the world differently. The word whole means complete, untouched, unhurt. And when you are broken, you attract broken people, you attract hardship, you attract complicated situations. So I want to show you the difference between when you are broken and the world is broken right now, and when the world is complete and you are complete. So when you are whole, life flows way more smoothly. You act from the seat of compassion and understanding. So when you feel like you are unhurt and you are the totality of who you are, you operate from compassion and understanding. And that makes you have wiser decisions and lead to better, and that will lead to better outcomes for you and others. So you treat people and the world with greater respect. And all those positive actions are returned to you tenfold. Only when you are well, you can welcome the blessing. That's my philosophy. So we have to be well to welcome the blessing. Because if we are broken, we will amplify, this pandemic, and will make things work. Now, I call this a karmic virus. I call this a virus that is happening because it's kind of meant to happen. And the reason behind it is a global karma. When I wrote my first book, Everyday Karma, I differentiate different types of karma. I talked about individual karma, family karma, and global karma. And just to go back to what karma is all about, and for many of you as the Newtonian law of cause and effect, but this is a way simpler definition. Karma is actually the totality of who you are, all your action, all your thoughts, all your experiences, everything you've ever did, everything you've been through, everything that is stored within your subconscious mind that you will tend to repeat. Karma in so many ways means memory, means repetition. Karma is the luggage that you carry, then you never lose that on a trip. So I want you to understand that you have your individual karma, but also there is a karma that is spread within the family, and then there's something global. Now, what do I mean by this? Everything humanity has been doing for thousands of years created a karmic imprint in our consciousness, and this karma is our represents our action, and it's time to realize that this type of virus or similar type of virus or illnesses, they come from wrong action, and they are calcifying in our system. And it's a time in our evolution where we need to wake up and understand that if we don't resolve this karmic imprint, what's going to happen, this virus will come back in a different form, and there will be a different type of virus or a different type of disease. Cancer is a karmic disease. Autoimmune disorders are karmic diseases. The diseases that we have a lot lately because we did things through centuries that were not right. So we hurt each other. We didn't really evolve. We continue to kill each other. We've been hurting our planet, animals. So our action, the totality of our action, created a karma that was not that clean and not that positive. So consequently, we see what's coming back to us, because what you put in the universe comes back to you. That is the Newtonian law of cause and effect. So this is a global karma, and we can fix it globally. Now, the universe has many laws. The law of karma is the number one law of spirituality. It's the foundation of the universal law. So my first book was Everyday Karma, and I speak about this, and I try to explain where the world will go if the karma will not get resolved. And if the karma gets resolved, we will never see another virus again, believe it or not. And it seems very hard to comprehend. It seems difficult to really believe that this can actually be done, but it can. And this situation is so dramatic that we really have to wake up. We really have to come together. We really have to understand that the world is broken and we need to heal it. We need to fix everything that was going wrong for us for way too long. But there are many laws in the universe. It's not only the law of karma. There's the law of non-locality. There's the law of totality. There's the law of attraction that you all heard about and talked about. Now, all these laws of wisdom, of gratitude, of harmony, of love, all these laws are divine laws. Like, for instance, divinity, divine, has no time, is timeless, while time is man-made. And here we go with acknowledging that we not only broke the universal laws, but created man-made laws. And our man-made laws are not surviving a test of time. They're imperfect laws. They're flawed laws. And they create what? Suffering, diseases. This universe and the divine world didn't give us suffering or pain or diseases. So according to God, we're not supposed to suffer. We're not supposed to live in pain. But everything that we experience is man-made. This virus is man-made. The suffering is man-made. Time is man-made. Money is man-made. Money is the root of all evil. This harmonious way of living, this broken world with so many disagreements, the belief in different religions, everything is broken. Everything is man-made. And that's why we are not living in that divine, harmonious world of the Creator. We're living in a world, and we actually exacerbating this world, day by day, creating sort of a more and more money-dominated world. And what we're going to see is that the whole system and the whole set of laws and everything, the whole injustice, will kind of have to fall apart. It's inevitable. It's hard to have a vision, but I personally think that for you listening, you can resonate with what I have to say. So it's almost like universal laws versus man-made laws, the law of karma that plays such a huge role here. So the truth is that we need to heal this karmic imprint. And then we can live that wonderful life on earth. Now, I will refer to a quote by a German philosopher, Friedrich Nietzsche, and he said that to live is to suffer, and to survive is to find meaning in the suffering. So, in other words, life is suffering, and in order to go through suffering, with a better understanding, you have to find a meaning, or in order to survive the suffering, you have to find a meaning. I do agree with some of what he says, except that I would add that not only to survive, but also to heal. We're on earth to find true meaning in the suffering, and also we're in this reality because many of us don't heal. We have a hard time going through our hardship, and we allow the pain to linger within our system. And in spite of our efforts to get over it, we bury everything in our subconscious mind. We don't get rid of it. And now it's time to heal our wounds. It's time to understand better. It's time to take action. It's time to come together and create that oneness, that unity, because we acknowledge that when it comes to what is happening right now in this world, we are in this together. Don't think that if there are parts of the world doing better, that means that the world, those are more fortunate or those are blessed. No, because this virus will go at the end everywhere, and not only that, will actually come back. We must not only move forward, but make sure we move forward together and fully healed, and finally let go of the mentality that if I'm okay, who cares about the rest, So in other words, we have to become more powerful than our pain. And the first step to heal is heal the energy. You already know that we're some kind of an energetic being, so when energy is high, you're able to conquer anything. But when the energy is low, the vibration energy is low, then illnesses, emotional shock, mental trauma takes over everything, and you kind of feel stuck, and you're talking about energetic blockages. But when energy flows freely, your body is healthy, your mind is at peace, and your spirit is free, free to succeed. And I will talk to you a little bit about what I consider to be the most relevant steps that we need to take in order to be able to overcome this moment. I would love to let you know again and again that this is a calling show. So if you want to challenge me, if you have questions, if you have your own concern, if you go into a hard time, feel free to call in 202-570-7057 and let's connect, let's talk. And you can subscribe to my newsletter. You can be my friend on Facebook, on Instagram. This would be the way for us to always be in touch and share opinions. So I'm always listening to what you have to say. But when it comes to wellness, I want you to understand that this moment right now, it's a very tough moment. But we have to live in this moment. We have to live in the present. One of the old saying is that if you are depressed, you're living in the past. And if you are anxious, then you're living in the future because you're anxious about something. And the past probably carries some negative emotions. So consequently, you carry that depression because you store those memories in your subconscious mind. But if you live outside of time, in the past or in the future, you actually, if you do that, you disempower you. It actually takes away from you what you can do in the present. But if you live in the present, it helps you feel what? Confident and feel in control. Now, more than ever, we have to live in the present. We have to embrace the present. We have to stay focused on making the best of whatever situation we're facing in the moment. So your intention and actions are grounded in the now, and that helps you feel both peaceful and both powerful. So when you find your thoughts, stop them and return them to the present. So center yourself by taking deep breath and becoming aware of your surroundings, because the tendency is that you tend to allow your mind to go places. But I want you to always center yourself in the so-called cognitive reality and take notes of everything that's happening to you, because you exist here now. And you have to make the best that you can of the moment now. And in this time, there are other things that you need to do in order to heal yourself, and in order to take this opportunity as a wonderful time, to shift your life around. And I think I'm gonna take a short break, and then I'm gonna talk about different strategies that you should take into consideration. And then I'll take your calls. So I'll be back in a minute.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
And I'm back, and I was listening to this ad that we are all alone into this together. Isn't that true? But I don't know about you, but I am experiencing, I'm having a great time, to tell you the truth. And I don't feel demoralized, and I'm not upset. I just look at this like a tragedy that was necessary. I see the world changing for better as a result of this. It will take a while. I see a healthier world ahead of us, a cleaner world ahead of us. I see a more harmonious world ahead of us. And I'm excited about that. And I'm dancing every single day. I'm posting on Instagram, on Facebook, my dances, on my music, on my own music. And I try not to be upset or depressed. And this is one of the things that I want to tell you. to open up your heart and to balance your emotion, because in this time we will see a lot of people becoming clinically depressed. What I mean by that is that your emotions are the building blocks of your health. So that's because your emotions have a lot to do with how you feel. Your body producing, from everything you feel, the body produces a corresponding hormone or a chemical. So the way you feel makes the body release a chemical. Now, negative emotions like fear, that's why I always said this virus is actually not that dangerous, as fear is the worst virus. So negative emotions like fear, anger, uncertainty, frustration, and so on and so forth will result in the production of dangerous chemicals like cortisol or catecholamine, which are the neurotransmitters in the brain, the hormones in the brain. While on the other hand, like catecholamine, I give epinephrine, for instance, norepinephrine. So these are neurotransmitters that when they release in the bloodstream, your blood sugar goes to the roof, your blood pressure goes to the roof, your heart goes to 140. So, and you might have a panic attack. So we cannot afford those emotions to produce this dangerous chemical. On the other hand, if you are at peace, if you do what I do, dancing every day and acting from a state of mind of joy and gratitude, then you release the feel-good hormones in the bloodstream. Now, your cells, I'm explaining you medically, have receptors that allow these chemicals to penetrate the cell. So if you constantly feel angry, sad, and resentful, your cell will be overwhelming with those harmful chemicals. So what's going to do, your immune system will become impaired, and that's the way you're getting sick, because the immune system not functioning, those invaders will take over the body. But if you want to achieve well-being, you need to balance your emotion. I think I gave you a while back on one of my shows, I gave you an entire protocol that I wanted you to follow, how to observe your emotions on a daily basis, because we have a dominant emotions. So I want you to take a journal and write down morning, after, noon and afternoon, evening, by observing your dominant emotion. Is your dominant emotion anger, sadness, fear? What dominates you? You will see within a week there's one dominant emotion that comes up. So let negative emotion come in and then get them out. So don't allow them to stay within you for too long. On the other hand, honor everything that you feel, but release everything that might hurt you. As I said, don't let those chemicals take over you. And I want you to detach from what brings you pain, because nothing can help you heal like detaching from harmful people, harmful situation, harmful memories, harmful information, watching too much TV, being stuck with this constant number that goes up on people who died. So distinguish the source of your pain from the source of your joy. So be honest with yourself about who's causing you more and more harm versus good. So don't feel guilty for feeling happy, and that's perfectly fine. Also, dispose of items you hold on that you don't really need. Let go of things that bring you bad memories. Throw out pictures of circumstances, situation, you know what I mean, that you don't want to associate yourself with. It's amazing to declutter your memories. We always throw things away from the house and we feel that we don't need it and we feel so much better. but I want you to throw away things that you attach subconsciously to a specific memory. I also believe that we can get better by healing ourselves through the nature and through the right food, like Hippocrates used to say, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. I really believe that it's time to be self-sufficient, go back to the nature, and acknowledge that you want to be healed. And as a rule of thumb, eat everything that's natural. Eat everything as raw as possible. Stay away from everything that means suffering. You know what I mean? Don't eat that stuff, because eating meat is bringing something bad into your body that's alive. So these are some of my ideas, and I can go on and on and on and on with telling you that it is significant in this time to talk to yourself. It is significant to have a dialogue with you, like Socrates, the Greek philosopher, believed that dialogue leads to the truth, to a higher knowledge. And you can have a dialogue with yourself, like a heartfelt dialogue. Even have a heartfelt dialogue on the phone with somebody who hurt you in the past, a member of the family, or somebody from your friends. So be confident that this is going to do a lot of good. Listen to your dilemmas, all the time. Listen to what your heart has to tell you, because there's nothing more important than let go of the pain, so that you step into that oneness of who you are, the totality, the soul, the body, the mind, the complexity of who you are. So also I want you to know that it's important to maintain your faith. It doesn't matter what God you believe in, make sure you believe in something. Like maintaining that solid sense of faith is always promoting good health. Trust me, people don't go now to churches, synagogues. We don't need to go anywhere. God is within your heart. God means your action. God means the karma that you create. God will see through any test of life. Faith is always needs to be renewed, because it's so important to believe in the good and in tomorrow. So that will reduce your stress. That will grant you more peace of mind. That will balance your emotion. You will create that inner harmony, and that will lead to your good health. So believing in the love and the compassion of God will heal you. And as I said, God is that immense, perfect universe that I described through those beautiful eternal laws. I wrote a book on that called The 11 Principles. But there is no greater nourishment than feeling deeply connection to the divine, and feel like you are divine, and that you can become divine through your action, to everything you do. And even if you're not allowed to be outside under the circumstance of right now, if you have a backyard, if you have a way to walk around, if you have a house, or be among the nature is really, really helpful under the circumstances what's happening right now. If there's no one around, so find ways to celebrate that. At least imagine that when you have a moment before you go to sleep. And the last thing I want to tell you, show gratitude, because an attitude of gratitude makes all the difference in healing. And gratitude isn't just a feeling. It's a way of life. It's an understanding that you have, ways of expressing thanks to all the people. There's so many people right now we should be grateful for. It's incredible. And be grateful for all the good things that you've experienced in life. It's so magical. And one of the things that I always do myself, and I don't know if you ever thought this way, we are surrounded by a biofield of energy that is called the auric field. And if we work on increasing that field, I truly believe that we cannot get sick. if your field of energy is protected, if that aura around you is bright and light, is that there is no way, a disease will touch you. Disease. What means a disease? Is a disconnect. And people that are broken, are disconnected, where there is a problem within the totality of the system, that they will easily get any kind of a virus, any kind of a disease. And work on keeping that field of energy always clean and pure, and work with your hands in absorbing the cosmic energy. Think of Saint Germain, the prophet, who lived 200 years by using the cosmic energy, and he was always walking with the hands up in the air. And think of all those cleansing and the Baptists that actually clean the biofield of energy. So think of all the rituals that humanity did through centuries in the healing process. Now, I'm going to go and take your calls because I'm looking forward to talking and see if there is new callers. And I'm going to go first to somebody, I think I'm speaking for the first time. Hi, Ridge. Welcome to the show. How are you, my dear?
I'm doing well.
So it's good to have you on the show. So I'm grateful that you called, and I would love to see if there's something I can help you with, if you have any questions, if you're willing to challenge the idea of the show, if you have something to talk to me about what's happening in the world right now.
Okay. Back in 1987, my father told me that he used to have dreams about business, and he'd have a dream that night, but when he woke up, he had no recollection of it. But 2 weeks, 2 months down the road, it come about, and subsequently he had the construction job. And he said his last one he had was about me, and I said, what was that? He said, well, I don't remember. He said, but the only thing I do remember is that, and I'll never forget his words, one day you're going to hit a gold mine. Well, that was 1987, and I wished he'd never told me because I chased it and made a lot of poor decisions and lost a lot of money, and here I am, 70 years old, and no further ahead today than I was back then. And I was just wondering, maybe you have any feeling about that or intuition?
I have a lot of feelings about that. Actually, first of all, I want to tell you and everybody listening that dreams, there are different layers of dreams. And so there's a way to dream between 1 to 2, between 4 to 6. So, but dreams, if the mind is not programmed to remember the dream, when you go to sleep and you're conscious, you tell your mind not to open the eyes. So you kind of program your body not, because when you open your eyes, the dream is gone, because you come back in the sensory world, the world that you taste, you smell, you see, you touch. But when you're dreaming, you do what is called the astral travel. So you might not necessarily be here. Your soul, your spirit can go places, can be in a different part of the world, and can have what is called premonitory dreams. So your father had a premonition during the dream, and he had a premonition about you, saying something that was very symbolic to me. And I don't know whether he necessarily referred to money. I don't know whether there is a metaphorical way of saying that your the goal, the well-being, there's something about you that is more precious than having $20 million or having a gold mine, in your backyard. You understand what I mean? He was, I think, referring to something way more profound. And your father shows me a G or a J name, John, Greg, something like with a G name. And he tells me your father is passed, no?
Yes.
And he says, he showed me a day of a 24, and he talks about the month of June. The 24 can also mean 2024, because I see a 24, but I'm not sure whether it's a day or he refers to 2024. So indirectly, he speaks about the next 4 years. He said that what he told you will actually happen when you don't even expect. And he said, under the circumstance of what's happening now in the world, it looks like the way you took that message might never translate into your world right now, but will translate in a different world. He also says that the world as you know it will change drastically. And one of the things that you need to do very well in the next 1 year and 2 months will generate a lot of financial power for you. And that together with somebody else, you might, and you will, I want you to call me back on this one on the radio in the near future, or you can actually call whenever you want on this show. But there's some big message here. He also talks about of a man or a person with a name like Don or David. There's a name with a D very strong, somebody who might be a little bit younger than you. And there's some kind of a work that you will do with this person. It makes me feel like this person can be in the late 50s, early 60s. So he's somebody a little bit younger than you. Anybody in your family that had a name with an R, Rose, or Robert? Do you know if this resonates anything for you?
My sister's name is Robin.
Okay. He's mentioning her too. And he's also, do you relate to the name with the G or J, Jason, John, or something like that?
No.
I wonder whether this might be somebody he's on the other side. And who died in a car accident? Anybody that you remember?
My son was in a car. He was hit on a sled. He was hit by a car and died. His name
so
is
your
Darren
son,
John. His
your
name
son,
is Darren John.
with a D name. Okay. So he's talking about your son who died in a car accident with a name with a D. So that's what he's referring to. I feel your father his presence is very strong. He was a wise man. Do you agree with me?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And he said that he doesn't want you to take the words the way they sounded. He wants you to look at the meaning within the words. And then some of the things that he will, as the time goes by, some of the things that he mentioned to you will come to a better understanding. So I really want you to reflect upon what I told you right now. That he said, whatever I told you will come through within a year and 2 months in a way better, in a better way that you think. He also says that you're in a good health. He shows me water. Where do you live? Because he's implying a move. Do you plan to live closer to the water, or do you live closer to the ocean right now?
I live in the mountains.
Okay. So he claims having a property or having something that has to do with the water. He shows me, I think, the ocean. So there's a big message here. I'm really glad that you called me, because I think only the time will tell that the message is so powerful and is loaded with information that probably in this very second you cannot completely fully understand. But it will take a while for all this information to fall in place and to finally see a resolution to what your father told you many years ago. He showed me 16. What happened 16 years ago? She shows me 16. I feel it's 16 years ago. Do you relate to this?
I can only relate to my son, who was 16 at the time he died.
Oh, 16. Yeah, that's why he's showing me 16. And he tells me that they are together and they are having a great time. And that you are talking about dreams, and this, I have chills when I tell you this, because the message is so beautiful and is so powerful. He says that you will have an interesting dream of him and your son, both of them coming together to salute you and to hug you. He said, from the other side, he said, we can hug you. He said, we don't have the virus. I'm just joking. but you will have two amazing dreams, one after each other. They also claim that there's somebody with the name William that will have something to do with your life, so pay attention to that name too. They also underline another message that I want you to pay attention, that around your area there's some problem or there is an issue having to do with either somebody who's committing a crime or something. Pay attention to around the area. Be careful. Be careful around the area. There's a big message here, okay?
Okay.
So I want you to pay attention to that. What is he shows me somebody that's going to be caught by the police, and you will tell me about this. The day will come and you will call me back. Might take a bit of time, but you will call me back and you will be amazed how your father was able to project that from where he is into your reality. So that in a way it's like a warning sign. Just pay attention to that situation. Almost like he says, don't really try to get involved into that. Other than that, he tells me you're going to live to the age of 96.
Okay.
So, a lot of messages. A lot of messages.
Thank you.
All right, my dear. So I hope that you enjoy talking to me, and I want you to be safe, and you will be. And let's make your father's sort of prediction turn into the best reality possible.
Thank you very much, and I'll call you back.
Oh, please do. And send my love to your sister, everybody in your family, and you guys be safe. Thank you for calling. I'm very grateful.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to take a break, and we'll be back in a minute.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
I'm Kathy Williams, host of Sexy Mom Abundant Life radio show on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. On the show, we explore living abundantly in every area of your life. Ways to let go of limiting patterns and beliefs and to step into the flow of creativity and possibility, knowing you are supported by the universe.
I'm Fidel Nshombo. I was born in a city called the Bukavu in the Congo. We were a loving family, and then, boom, everything that I had disappeared in a single day. People think that when you are a refugee and they resettle you to America and all your problems are done. They don't understand that that's the beginning of everything. I was not born a refugee. I was made one.
It's time we welcome refugee families with open arms. Learn more at embracerefugees.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Yes, I'm back on OMTime Radio, and I want you to follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I'm doing lives almost every second day nowadays because of everything that's happening in the world. And I love to interact with you. I love your opinions. I love your suggestion. I'm taking your questions, and I want to help you with your concerns because it's a wonderful time to communicate. So it's essential to communicate. If you're alone in your home, you need to communicate. If you cannot see anybody, let's be on Skype together. Let's strategize what are we going to do from here on together, and let's talk. It's very important for our well-being. So my Facebook is Carmen Harra. I have actually 2 pages. One that I have over 100,000 people is my fan page, and I have another page that is in which you can actually follow me, because I already have 5,000 friends, and Facebook doesn't give you more than that. And I have my Instagram account where I have around 90,000 people, and I want you to be my friend on Instagram too. Another thing that I want you to do is, as I said, so pay attention to emotions, and if you want to heal, you have to discuss your emotional state. That's why I invite you to communication. Don't keep things inside, because feelings that are kept in your heart, they can actually multiply. It's okay to release your thoughts, your emotions, and it's okay to be in a constant dialogue, like I told you before. And sometimes pick up a person you want to confide in and confess your challenges, your hopes, talk over the phone, listen to other people's dilemma, offer advice, because this is the way that helps you get out of the state of being alone. So, I'm also your counselor, so if you feel like you're anxious, if you have panic disorders, feel free to connect with me. I can help you. I have many natural stuff that I can recommend. I'm a firm believer that nature has always been helping us to heal, and I can guide you if you feel like you have a clinical depression or a severe panic disorder, or whatever you think is wrong with you mentally, emotionally. Feel free to connect with me, because it's very important to express your pain and to let go of the pain. But I'm going to go now to Rosemary in Canada. Hi, my lovely Rosemary. Thank you so much for patiently waiting for me.
Hi, Carmen. Sure, and thank you so much for your talk on self-care.
Absolutely.
Practicing self-care while we're sheltering in place now more than ever. And
of course, now is the time to practice it.
It is.
Right.
It is. And I clearly ask for and am blessed to receive signs from my loved ones as well in dreams, like your previous caller. So my question to you is, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a sense when I talk to you of a little girl. I see around you right now in this very moment, I see an 8-year-old, somebody who died very young, or somebody who's your spirit guide. So I'm torn if this is somebody who necessarily died, or just this is a soul following you. What I also can speculate on this is that this might be a daughter that you never had. You know what I mean? Is a soul that wanted to enter your life, that it didn't happen. So you probably didn't pay attention. It's possible to be pregnant and lose a pregnancy or something, or just to decide not to be. And so this is a soul that's following you. It's a very cute little girl, and she's following you everywhere. And her name is Amelia, and she has longer hair, and she's very protective of you. She said that you guys had 2 previous lives together. So you met her in 2 other lives. And in one of the lives, she was actually your daughter. So if you will do a regression of the mind, which I also do, I love doing everything that has to do with working with the mind in whichever way possible. So if I would regress your mind, you will clearly see her the way I do, If you will be under, a state of altered consciousness, like being a bit hypnotized, then you will transcend the time and go back to that life in which this was a soul you're very close to. So when you said that you want to hear for somebody on the other side, this soul came in, and she smiles at me. She has flowers. She said she's very protective of you, continues to help you with everything you need. And she also says that she met your grandmother on the other side. So she's mentioned your grandmother. She gives.
Yeah, go ahead, Chiwa.
She shows me a AM name like Anne Marie or Mary or a very common name. I don't know if this resonates in any ways, but she's definitely bringing your grandmother.
Yeah, Anne Marie is my middle name, but that's interesting because my spirit guide, well, I call her Adele, which is my grandmother's name. But
with an A too, you see, because she's it's also the A name. Sometime, you know, she's Adele, but I felt like a Amelia or something. So in other words, sometime I may be wrong of the whole name because I'm not hearing fully, but I'm never wrong of the first initial. I always see the first initial. It's like anytime I channel, because it's interesting, I'm such a firm believer that there's something beyond this reality. And I test my ability a billion times in all kinds of circumstances. And I work with all kinds of people from all walks of life, from presidents of countries to, you know what I mean, to ordinary people, to homeless people, you know. And I've never failed I never, you know, and we usually fail, but I've never failed in the first initial. In your case, I clearly see the A name. On the other hand, that has a lot to do with your grandmother and with this little girl. So these are two souls, and they look very, very sweet together, you know. And also you have that protection from your grandmother too. Do you have anything else specific that you want to ask me?
Well, I was wondering if you see a shift in my career path, and does it have anything to do with my son's paralysis? When he was paralyzed 2 years ago, do you see us working together?
Yeah, I do. I do see you working together. Absolutely.
And he will have a message for people, and I will support.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's just so amazing with what happened to your son. You know, I talked at the beginning at some point in the show about karmic diseases. Diseases that come in our life, and sometimes you identify individual karmic diseases when somebody is relatively young. You know, if you see a child being born blind, or a child being born with a deformity, or at the age of 6 or at a certain age, you know, till still we're talking about a child, the child develops a disease, those come from a karmic imprint having to do with a previous experience. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I don't care what religion you are, but when the apostle asked Jesus why a child is blind because he did nothing wrong, he said, Dad, a condition comes from the previous life. So who said that Jesus didn't believe in past life was wrong? You know what I mean? So in other words, you know, when we come from a drop of memory, we bring that memory of everything that we did experience before. That's why I'm a firm believer in the concept of karma and repetition of life after life. And I don't think we just live one life. I really think we carry memories of prior experiences into this life. That is the only way we can explain Mozart playing piano as a 4-year-old. I speak French without learning the language. My previous life was a life in France. I mean, I sing and do all kinds of things that don't come from this life. I know that. So it's fascinating how we all have memories. And I think you also have a lot of memories. You I see also as a very powerful woman of power, woman who help a lot of people. And your son's disease and problem and paralysis is a karmic thing, an imprint of a life during the war. Did I ever mention that to you?
No, you haven't.
Okay. Yeah, that disease comes from being shot in a previous life. And exactly at the age when he was shot in that life, the problem happened in this life. Mm-hmm. The reality is that what happened then in this life happen in this life is processed differently, if you understand what I mean.
Yes.
So and that's what I found fascinating with everything you experience and with your son as everything. Yeah. But with you, I can talk forever for so many things that you are going through that have a lot to do with your prior experiences.
I agree. Well, that's good. I'm glad we're going to work together. That's something that I'm looking forward to for the next chapter in my life.
Absolutely. And it's going to be a beautiful chapter. Good. And we're going to heal and resolve the karmic imprints. We will.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, my love. I love you, my dear Rosemary, and thank you so much for calling me. And I'm going to go to Leilani at the end of the show because Leilani is my faithful friend forever. Hi, my beautiful girl. How are you,
Hola,
beautiful?
Bonita. I'm good.
Oh, I'm going to the end of the show. Oh, my God, I feel so bad. But listen, Leilani, let's talk next week, okay? I'll take you first, I promise. Okay. And for everybody listening, I love you, and I'm grateful, and I'm sending you blessing, and be strong. This shall pass, and let's come together. Let's heal this world. Let's make a more beautiful world out there. More just, more fair, more clean, more whole, more wiser, a wiser world. I love you, everybody. I'm Carmen Harra on OMTime Radio. Thank you for listening.